Ladies and gentlemen, you're watching, yes, the Yankees Entertainment and Sports Network.
This is an aerial view of the beautiful city of San Francisco, California. We are on the other side of the bay, and that's where the Yankees will be playing baseball tonight, the Oakland Coliseum, as the YES Network presents New York Yankees baseball. It'll be the Yankees against the Oakland A's in Game 2 of a 4-game series from the Oakland Coliseum in Oakland, California. Hi, everybody. Ken Singleton along with John Flaherty tonight. The Yankees won the first game of the series by a score of 4-1. They got some very good pitching last night from Ivan Nova, and then the bullpen took over from there. Let's go to our pitching matchup for tonight, brought to you by People's United Bank N.A. See what know-how can do for you. Sonny Gray gets the start for the Oakland A's. He's been struggling somewhat. He was an all-star last year, 3-4 with a 5.84 ERA. CC Sabathia comes off the disabled list for the Yankees, pitching for the first time since May the 4th in Baltimore. And Flash, he had a good outing his last start.
Well, he really did a couple of weeks ago. He's been on the DL with that groin strain. The changeup was excellent in that game against Baltimore. 7 innings, did not give up a run, struck out 6. He's also doing a better job of limiting the damage as far as the long ball is concerned. A very welcome addition back into this rotation.
Well, as we mentioned, the Yankees have won 2 games in a row, and one thing that's happened for Joe Girardi, he's been able to go to the big 3 in the bullpen the last 2 games, and that formula has really worked, including last night's game, Flash.
Yeah, it was a carbon copy of that Arizona game where you go to Dellin Betances in the 7th inning after Nova did his thing, and then Betances with that power curveball, a couple of strikeouts, and had a very solid inning. Then you hand the ball over to Andrew Miller, who has been lights out lately. You're going to see him dot the outside corner with a fastball, perfectly executed. A lot of smiles in that dugout for the Yankees. And then you hand it over to your closer. Chapman has that big fastball. He picks up a strikeout there with the fastball and then goes with a little changeup just to let you know he has it. A great night for the bullpen last night.
Well, here are the numbers for the big 3, or the murderer's throw, if you will, this season. All of them have been outstanding in closing out ball games for the Yankees. If the Yankees have the lead after 6 innings, they usually can put it in the win column. They're trying to win a ball game tonight here in Oakland, and if they win this one, it'll be 3 in a row for the New York Yankees this season. They haven't won 3 in a row yet. So the Yankees are trying to accomplish that tonight. Lineup's first pitch baseball coming up next, right here on YES. Is brought to you in part by GMC. We are professional grade. Learn more at gmc.com. By the Cayman Islands. The Cayman Islands is a world away, but less than 4 hours from New York. Go to visitcaymanislands.com. And by Honda. Start something special with a great deal on a Honda now at your Honda dealer. There's a look at the Golden Gate Bridge. As this is kind of a doubleheader for fans in this area. The Giants are hosting the Chicago Cubs over in San Francisco, and they have a good pitching matchup there, as we have one here tonight here in the Coliseum in Oakland. Let's look at the game time weather presented by Bigelow Tea. A little cooler here tonight than it was last night. Temperature 57 degrees. The wind is up as well. 21 miles per hour. Humidity 68%. The forecast is windy and chilly as the Oakland A's take the field along with their starting pitcher Sonny Gray, will be taking his final warm-up tosses. The Yankees, of course, trying to make it 2 in a row. They won the final game in Arizona, trying to make it 3 in a row overall, and maybe gain some ground on their division as the Yankees are trying to at least win another series here. As we now look at the lineups that Sonny Gray will be facing. The Yankees starting lineup, as always, presented by Lexus. Jacoby Ellsbury will lead it off. He'll be in center field. Brett Gardner will be in left field. Carlos Beltran will be the designated hitter tonight. He had a big home run in last night's ball game. Brian McCann will clean up. He'll do the catching. Mark Teixeira back in the lineup. He's batting fifth. He'll be at first base. Starlin Castro will be at second. Aaron Hicks will be in right field. D.D. Gregorius will be at shortstop. And batting ninth and playing third base, Ronald Torreyes.
Well, that lineup for the New York Yankees going to get a look at Sonny Gray finishing up his warm-up tosses. We'll take a look at his numbers, and they are not what you usually expect to see from Sonny Gray. 3-4 with an ERA of 5.84. We're going to check out our pitcher scouting report, which is brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. The last 4 ball games not very good. 0-3 with an ERA of 10.31, and he's been giving up a lot more home runs this year, 8 of them already. And #1 pick, the 18th pick in the country in 2011 out of Vanderbilt University.
Well, Sonny Gray, you mentioned Vanderbilt. Sonny Gray finished third in the Cy Young voting last year. David Price was second. Dallas Keuchel was first. So 2 Vanderbilt pitchers in the top 3. Let's check out the A's on defense presented by Geico. And these are the players who will be behind Sonny Gray tonight. In left field, it's going to be Chris Davis. Cole Chris will be in center. And Jake Smolinski, who was just called up from the minor leagues today. We'll get into that a little later on. Danny Valencia third. Marcus Semien at shortstop. Tyler Latendorf will be at second. Billy Butler, the veteran, will be at first. And Stephen Vogt doing the catching for Sonny Gray. Here's Jacoby Ellsbury. He'll be leading it off for the Yankees. He brings with him a 5-game hitting streak. And here's the first pitch of the ball game from Sonny Gray. And it is in there for a call strike. Ellsbury having a good trip. He's 6 for 15 on this road trip. As we told you last night, he's been reaching base with regularity. Gray's next pitch, and that one is a little inside for a ball. One thing they've said about Gray this year, Flash, that his base on balls are up. He's walked more than usual. He's having trouble with his breaking ball of late, and he's been getting hit, as you pointed out, with that high ERA over his last 4 games. Next pitch is in the dirt, breaks away from Stephen Vogt. It's 2 balls and a strike.
Yeah, the one thing you hear around here about Sonny Gray, elevating pitches. He's coming off a no decision against Tampa Bay, 5 2/3 innings, gave up 3 earned runs in that game, and he actually said the last 5 outs he found something visually, the ability to get the ball down. We'll see if he can carry that over into the start.
That is inside, and Ellsbury's ahead on the count. 3 balls and a strike. Sonny Gray 1-1 in his career against the Yankees. Had 2 starts against them last year. Brett Gardner's on deck. Beat the Yankees May 29th in Oakland and pitched very well. 8 innings, 4 hits, 2 runs. The A's won 6-2. Ground ball towards second. Latendorf has it. Throws the first. Ellsbury is retired.
Well, Kenny, what you're also hearing here in Oakland about Sonny Gray, this is the first time this young man, and he's a young man, has struggled. You know, it's been kind of easy for him since he's gotten to the big leagues. Now going through a little tough stretch. I mentioned the last 4 games in ERA over 10. So the organization kind of paying attention. How are you going to handle some adversity and get yourself back on track?
Our director, John Moore, shows the clouds and says that's a picture of Sonny Gray. Clouds in the sun here as the darkness is not set in here in Oakland. As Gardner swings at the first pitch and fouls it off for strike one. Sonny Gray made the All-Star team for the first time last year as he won 14 games with 14-7. There are the numbers on Brett Gardner. And he too has been getting on base quite a bit lately. 27 times his last 16 games. Scored 2 runs last night. And takes one downstairs, and it's a ball and a strike.
You can see from the velocity on the fastball, there's no problem with Sonny Gray in his arm. He's healthy, 94 miles an hour with good movement down. Last 4, the ERA over 10.
He's allowed at least 4 runs in each one of those starts. Gardner lifts a high fly ball to center field for Crisp. The veteran is there. He puts it away, and there are 2 outs. Crisp last night was in center field. Billy Burns not in the lineup tonight for the Oakland A's. He's on the pine. He hasn't been hitting much lately. Now the A's will shift. 3 infielders on the right side as Carlos Beltran comes to the plate. That 9th home run came last night. 2-run shot to give the Yankees a little bit more cushion going into the bottom of the 9th inning, as Aroldis Chapman eventually put the game away. And that pitch is low and inside, ball 1 to Carlos Beltran. Carlos picked up 3 runs batted in last night. Now has 1,465 runs batted in his career. 1 more and he'll tie Rusty Staub on the all-time list. That's in there for a strike. Home plate umpire Bill Miller. Two outs, nobody on. We're just underway here for the Yankees and the A's. And Beltran fouls one back just to our left. And now it's a ball and 2 strikes.
Well, Sonny Gray will throw that fastball. He has a big curveball that he likes to throw, a little changeup, slider, and a cutter. Covers a lot of speeds, a lot of different pitches. See if he goes to that big curveball here, heading to count 1 and 2.
Pitch is lined down the left field line. It's going to be in there for a base hit. Beltran's turning it first. He's going to try for 2, and he'll be in there with a 2-out double as Chris Davis gets the ball back in. Last night, Beltran slapped the double to the opposite field and drove in a run. Tonight, another 2-base hit.
Going line to line last night at the top of the 3rd. He was able to spray one the other way. And here stays on that big 12-6 curveball and just hammers it the other way. So showing some good power with his 9th home run last night and the ability to hit the ball the other way.
Kind of beating the shift. 9 doubles now for Beltran on the season. And he's at second with 2 outs. And it brings up the cleanup hitter, Brian McCann. McCann 1 for 11 on this road trip. Way upstairs, ball 1. The Yankees won the game last night. They were only 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position. That one hit was the double by Beltran that drove in Brett Gardner. There's a called strike.
Kenny, I thought Brian had a great conversation with Meredith after the game on the field last night and said, you know, we have to do a better job offensively to give our manager a little bit of breathing room as far as the 3 guys coming out of the bullpen.
In other words, he's saying we can't use these guys every single night.
And you can't go 1 for 9 with runners in scoring position. You know, get some more runs early in some games.
High and inside. 2 balls and a strike.
Brian, an opportunity right here to drive in Carlos Beltran with 2 outs and also add to the mental demons of Sonny Gray. When you have a pitcher who's struggling a little bit, you get 2 quick outs, and then all of a sudden he's got to work to finish off this 1st inning.
Two-one pitch, line towards left field. It's going to be in there for a base hit. Davis has it on 1 hop, throws home. They're going to hold Beltran at 3rd. As Brian McCann goes the opposite way, just as Beltran did. And the Yankees have runners at 1st and 3rd with 2 outs. And they'll bring up Mark Teixeira.
Batting in the 5th position.
It's just another nice piece of hitting when you get a fastball out over the plate, head down, drive it the other way. Ball was hit too hard. Carlos Beltran, no chance of being able to score with 2 outs, although Davis does not throw very well.
Ball was almost directly to him, and it was hit hard. That's why Beltran was held up at third. Now here's Teixeira has been struggling. 0 for his last 9, and he swings and grounds 1 foul. In fact, Joe Girardi had Teixeira out of the lineup last night. Dustin Ackley got the start at first base and tried to give Tech somewhat of a mental break. He did get in the game defensively later on in the ball game, but this is his first at bat of the Oakland series.
He's only faced Sonny Gray 5 times. He does not have a hit against him yet.
That is low, and it's a ball and a strike on the Yankee first baseman. 0 for 9, 6 for his last 38. As you can see the numbers right there, and he's trying to shake a slump. Ball is hit in the air towards left field. Davis coming over near the line. He's camped underneath it. Makes the catch, and the Yankees will leave 2 men on here in the first inning. Couple of hits, but no runs against Sonny Gray. Taking his warm-up tosses, his first start since going on the disabled list following a start in Baltimore on May the 4th. This is starting lineup for the Oakland A's. Coco Crisp will lead it off. Marcus Semien will be at shortstop. Danny Valencia will be at third. Cleaning up is Chris Davis, followed by Billy Butler at first. Stephen Vogt doing the catching. Jake Smolinski called up today. Josh Reddick going on the disabled list with a fractured thumb. Smolinski will be in right field. Matt McBride will be the designated hitter, and Tyler Ladendorf will be batting ninth and playing second base. And here's a look at the fractured thumb. Last night we were concerned when Josh Reddick slid into second base, he got kicked in the head, but that wasn't the real problem. In fact, we find out today that his thumb was fractured and he has to go on a DL, and it's a shame because he was having a good year.
Yeah, it's a big loss for the A's. He's not going to be in there against Sabathia. You see the numbers on the year: 2-2, 3.81 ERA. And check out our pitcher scouting report brought to you by your Tri-Honda dealers. And welcome back after a couple of weeks. You get the leader, your staff back, throwing the ball well his last time out against Baltimore, 7 shutout innings. And a big reason why the changeup in that game was outstanding. And if he wins this game, it's a milestone win. It'll be win number 100 as a New York Yankee.
Here's veteran Coco Crisp, and the first pitch from Sabathia is a little bit low for ball 1. Sabathia 9-11 in his career against the Oakland A's. Chris, the switch hitter, swings and misses for a strike.
All right, Kenny, so a couple of weeks ago, Sabathia goes out there against Baltimore. 7 shutout after losing 6 in a row. You stop a losing streak. Now you have a couple of weeks, and he said all the right things in between here. But you got to believe there's going to be a little bit of rust in this game.
Yeah, but he talked a good game. Let's put it that way. He feels like he's ready to go, and he's a competitor. He always has been. So the Yankees are hoping for more of the same that they saw in Baltimore. He had an excellent changeup that night, and he had his cutter working too. 2-1 to count on Crisp. And it's a fly ball to center field. Ellsbury drifting back. The center fielder is there, makes the catch, and there's 1 out. And now let's take a look at the Yankees defense presented by Geico. You saw Ellsbury in center. He is flanked by Gardner in left and Hicks in right. Torreyes, Gregorius, Castro, Teixeira, and McCann doing the catching. So 1 up, 1 down for the A's. And it'll bring up Marcus Semien. Had a 4-game hitting streak broken last night. Sabathia deals, and it's low inside, ball 1. Now, Sabathia's had his problems in this ballpark. He struggled against the A's. Remember, his career record's only 9-11. The second highest batting average against him in any park on the road is here at 279, 303 at Fenway Park. Of course, from Vallejo, California, that's not too far away from Oakland. CC, a lot of friends and family here at the game tonight. Like a homecoming. And he does a lot for his local community of Vallejo, California. 1-1 pitch on the way, and it's upstairs to Semien. And it's 2 balls and a strike. Semien's batting average is down, but he's got power. 10 home runs. You got to be careful with him. He just missed a home run here last night off of Ivan Nova. Swing and a miss. And the count moves to 2-2. Sabathia winds and deals, and the ball's hit in the air to right field. Hicks drifting back and over towards the line, still drifting, and makes the catch over the shoulder. It looked like he took somewhat of a weird route to get to that one, but I guess it's all in the results. He puts it away for out number 2. The wind is really whipping around here tonight.
That's what I looked at, Kenny. The flag's going straight out to right field, and Hicks, it was kind of an adventure. And there's a replay with Yesmo, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealers. And it was an adventure, but Aaron Hicks able to make the play.
So 2 outs now, and nobody on for Danny Valencia. Valencia been hot lately. Had a hit in last night's ball game. Now here's a guy who broke in 2010 with the Minnesota Twins. His first career hit in the big leagues was a single off Felix Hernandez. His first career home run was a grand slam off Zach Greinke. Swings and fouls this one back, cutter in on his hands. So when you think about it, Flash, those are 2 brand names for your first hit and for your first home run.
We talked about him last night with the new approach that he has, really loading up on his backside. The power has never been a big part of his game. Though you mentioned that first home run, a grand slam. He's starting to drive the ball now.
Yeah. 6 home runs in his last 7 games. Fouls this one back to the screen. Sabathia trying to work a 1-2-3 first inning.
Get a look from the side, really coils up on that back leg and just lets it fly. This is some good weight transfer too, getting off of his backside.
Sabathia deals and just misses the outside corner. A ball and 2 strikes on Danny Valencia. Outfield fairly deep straight away. No shift on the infield. Breaking ball is in there for call, strike 3. Sabathia picks up his first strikeout. The A's go in order here in the bottom of the first. At the end of 1, no score in Oakland. mentioning earlier today, Alex Rodriguez was here at the Coliseum working out, inching closer and closer to getting back in the lineup off the disabled list. Of course, strained a hamstring in Baltimore and hasn't played since. And Meredith Marakovich has more on Alex Rodriguez. Meredith.
Well, Kenny, Joe Girardi told me earlier today that he'll check with Alex Rodriguez when he gets to the ballpark tomorrow and see how he feels. I asked whether or not he would be activated tomorrow, and he said it is a possibility, to not completely rule it out, but it really doesn't seem as though Joe Girardi is leaning that way right now. He mentioned the fact that the Yankees have an off day on Monday, and he said a lot of times with injuries, when a player comes in and says he's okay, you give him another day just to be sure. So they're kind of thinking at this point in time, is it beneficial to give him another day in Sunday as well, and then an off day on Monday, come back ready to go against the Blue Jays on Tuesday? Now, like I said, he could still be activated tomorrow, but it does not seem like the Yankees are leaning in that direction.
Well, the Yankees are facing a left-hander tomorrow, and you know, you want a big right-handed bat in your lineup. I guess it all depends on what Alex says. Starlin Castro leading it off for the Yankees here in the second.
Well, you have to be honest, from watching the video, it didn't look like he's 100% ready to rock and roll. What do you think, Ken?
No, it didn't look that way, but you know, he's easing his way back into the lineup. It wasn't like he was trying to score a run there. The 2-1 pitch to Castro, and he swings and misses strike 2. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Yeah, during Sonny Gray's career, which has been very brief so far, back-to-back years where he's won 14 games, he's really pitched well in the first halves of seasons. 23-10 first half, but second half 13-14. So this is a little unusual that he's struggling at this point in the year. That pitches outside for a ball. No swing by Castro. That's Pat Holberg, the first base umpire. And now the count is run full on Castro, who's leading off here in the second. From 2015 to 2016, the highest ERA jump so far. Greinke has gone up, so is Gray, David Price, and Matt Harvey. Those are some big-time pitchers.
Big names.
3-2 pitch, and it's fouled back by Castro. Castro, Hicks, and Gregorius for the Yankees here in the second.
Kenny on that list, a couple of veterans in Price. You know, and Greinke, who have been through the grind before, have struggled before, and you figure out a way out of it, as Aaron Hicks waiting on deck. But for a guy like Sonny Gray, who's had a lot of success early on, tough little stretch right here. Like I said earlier, everybody really paying attention to see how he's handling it and work his way out of it.
Another chopper foul. Of all those pitchers, he's got the least experience.
If you play this game long enough, I don't have to tell you, Kenny, you are going to go through some struggles at some point. Young kids come up, and sometimes they have all this success, and you get a feeling like you just expect it and it's going to be easy. You're going to go through some grinds at certain times in your career, and this is one of them for him.
Breaking ball, hitting the air to center field. Chris coming on, still coming on, and he gets there. The veteran still has the wheels, and there's one out here in the second. Now, this game starting earlier than last night's game, so you know, sometimes at this point of the day, it's a little tough to see the ball, whether you're pitching or coming off the bat or trying to hit. The lights really haven't taken effect as of yet. Here's Aaron Hicks, who drove in the go-ahead run last night. Big 2-out double. And he swings at the first pitch, fouls it off. Hicks 3 for 12 on the road trip. That double came in the 6th inning. He drove home Dustin Ackley, and that put the Yankees up 2-1. Of course, Beltran homered in the 9th with a man on to make it 4-1, and that's where the game finished. That one is downstairs, and it's a ball and a strike. Aaron Hicks for John Ryan Murphy. That was the trade over the winter. Hicks got off to a slow start, but he's swinging the bat much better of late from both sides of the plate. The pitch is inside, and he's at the head on the count, 2-1.
Surprising, John Ryan Murphy going over to the Twins, being sent to the minor leagues. Up to a tough start offensively. He will be back. He's too good of a player to go through that.
It's very true. I think the Twins at least would remember the 3-run homer he hit off of them in the 9th inning. Ball is hit on the ground to the right side. Ladendorf is there, scoops it up, throws, and there are 2 down.
I was really looking forward to watching Sonny Gray pitch today and tonight and see if you can really pick something out. But his stuff looks good early on. Good changeup right there to Aaron Hicks, and a fastball count. Gets an easy ground ball.
Forecast sunny with strikeouts. We mentioned the creativity of the fans, and that's in every city. Here's Gregorius. He's got a 4-game hitting streak. He has 1 hit in each one of those 4 games. 4 for 16 on this road trip. And he'll take a pitch a little bit low for ball 1. No score, top of the 2nd inning. Those are Didi's numbers on the season. 3 home runs, 15 runs batted in. No shift when he's at the plate. And it's in there for a strike, 1-1. We mentioned Sonny Gray having problems with his breaking ball, and that means that the hitters can look for a fastball more. That is at the knee, strike 2.
Yeah, good pitch right there, and that's what Sonny Gray was talking about his last start against Tampa Bay. Found a way to get the ball down in the zone. That's just perfectly executed right there. Great look from the side, clipping the knees.
Foul back to the screen, and we told you the walks have been a problem. And I believe he's been walking about 4 per game. And here's something to remember, folks, that each time the Yankees, the last 7 times they've received 4 walks in a game, they're 7-0. They've won each one of those ball games. So if Gray can cut that down, he might have a better chance. Did he swing? No. Todd Tichenor, the third base umpire, says that Didi did not go around.
It's that big curveball that you were talking about earlier, Kenny, and good one there. He executes down and away from the side. Didi did not offer.
That's what the umpire from third base would see. And he said he did not swing. Swings at that one, foul, tipped it, just got a piece of it. And Vogt took the brunt of that one.
He's going to take a deep breath and try to shake this one off. Those are the ones that don't feel too good when they hit the dirt first and come up from underneath.
Of course, home plate umpire Bill Miller taking time cleaning up home plate. Let Vogt catch his breath. Those guys that wear the masks, they're like a brotherhood back there. Well, maybe not.
Some of them, it was a brotherhood.
2-2 pitch, and it's lined into center field for a base hit. So insult to injury for Stephen Vogt. He calls the wrong pitch. Didi Gregorius with a base hit, now with a 5-game hitting streak. 3rd hit of the night for the Yankees.
Yeah, you give Didi a little credit in that at bat. Did a great job fouling off some tough pitches and then finally get something that he can handle. That fastball right down the middle. Nice way to start off your night.
Ronald Torreyes gets the start at third base tonight. Chase Headley with the night off. Yankees have a day game here tomorrow. That pitch is a little outside for ball 1. Torreyes got off to such a great start, but now he's just 2 for his last 22, and an average that was up near 400 because he doesn't play all that often. He's now down to 263. Gray deals, and it's inside for a ball. Well, if you're going to come out of a mini slump, try and get ahead on counts, get a pitch that you can handle. That is in there for a call strike. Now, various numbers on Gray that we've mentioned, the ERA lately, but you know, a telling number, the fact that he's now given up 9.9 hits per 9 innings. And his career coming into this year was only 7.6. So he's been getting hit a little bit harder. And the home run rate is up as well. Ball is lined foul. Back into the seats for a souvenir, and the count evens at 2-2. And that all comes from falling behind on counts and becoming more predictable with your pitches. And he's got a good fastball, but I wouldn't qualify him as a flamethrower. Breaking ball is in there for called strike 3. Torreya's caught looking. Yankees pick up a hit, nothing else. Still no score here in Oakland. Davis had quite a night, Flash, and was really a big hero here in Oakland.
Well, he was. You know, he's traded from the Brewers. He had 27 home runs last year, so plenty of power. But he had a night on May 17th. 3 home runs. We're going to take a look at all 3 of them. And the last one, that's going to be a walk-off bomb for Chris Davis. He's halfway down the third base line, takes a nice jump shot, and then enjoys his teammates. What a night. 3 home runs in 1 game.
He said that was a tribute to the Warriors and Stephen Curry. He's leading it off here against CC Sabathia in the bottom of the second. Swings at the first pitch and doesn't get it. I should say, Davis, since mid-August of last year, he's hit more home runs than any major league player. He's hit 32 home runs. And there's Chris's Army out there. Become a fan favorite. Tried to check his swing, goes around too far, and CC has him in the hole. No balls and 2 strikes.
You know, Kenny, he's the type of hitter that when you're in a pitcher-catcher scouting report meeting on how you go through a lineup, if we execute pitches, we will get him out. But if you make a mistake, he's going to get you.
Ball is popped high in the air to right center field. Looks like Ellsbury's going to have this one. He holds off Davis, makes the I should say Hicks, and there's 1 out. Well, CC Sabathia back off the disabled list, and Meredith Marakovich, yes, they had a chance to talk to CC.
Well, Kenny, you guys were just talking about whether or not CC Sabathia would be sharp to start this game after that layoff, and he told me yesterday he did not think it would be a problem, and clearly has not looked like a problem so far, and that's because he had been throwing the whole time he was on the disabled list. Flat grounds, bullpen, also threw a sim game, and he felt really good about the way his arm felt. Also, he reflected back on that start against the Orioles, and he said in that game in particular, his arm action was really good. He was also able to throw all of his pitches for strikes at any time in the count. And he said if I could continue that, build off of that start and carry that over to tonight, he's going to have a lot of success.
Yeah, he strained the groin in the 4th inning and kept on going. That pitch is inside to Billy Butler. It's 2-0, and the next day it's when he really felt it.
Well, Kenny, he said even the next day he already started feeling a little bit better, but anytime an MRI comes back and shows even a little bit of a strain, you know you are likely going to be on the DL. So he said it has been an extremely 2 long weeks for him. It's been tough having to watch the team, but happy to be back out there tonight. And you mentioned he grew up not too far around from here. He said he's going to have about 75 to 100 friends and family in attendance. So big cheering section for CC Sabathia tonight.
That's a lot of tickets. 2-1 to count on Billy Butler. And the veteran takes one high, and it's 3-1. I remember a couple of years ago, Flash, we were doing a game here, and CC came out to the parking lot. There must have been, as Meredith said, 75 people waiting for him outside the parking lot. There's his mom right there. Yeah? And it looked like he was running for mayor, you know, shaking hands, kissing babies, and you know, it's nice when you can come back to your home area and everybody supports you. The pitch is hit foul on the ground. And the count is now run full.
Well, thinking back to CC's last start against Baltimore, you know, you're related to a hitter when you start swinging the bat better and you get into a groove, and all of a sudden you have a little injury that you have to spend some time. That's the worst time to go down. Obviously, you want to get back out there and continue. And so far, so good tonight. Changeup looks good, locating the fastball.
3-2 count on Billy Butler, and the payoff pitch is on the way. And he just got a piece of it. And the count remains full at 3-2. Butler, of course, has spent the early part of his career with the Kansas City Royals and was a big run producer. He's off to a slow start. Just .219, no home runs, 5 runs batted in. CC tried to hit the inside corner but misses, and the A's have their first base runner. A 1-out walk for Billy Butler. Take a look, Flash, at CC against the Orioles back on May the 4th.
7 shutout innings in that ball game. You remember the Yankees were really struggling, had lost 6 in a row. Able to get in there and get a nice 6-4-3 double play. The changeup was excellent. Location was fantastic. Able to elevate a fastball. It's a quality start when the Yankees needed it most.
1 out, 1 on for Stephen Vogt. The A's catcher, look at, and he is hit by a pitch. They're coming to check on Vogt, and remember last night Josh Reddick went out with an injury. They can ill afford to have another starting player out of the lineup. Looks like it got him on the left hand or wrist.
You know, I saw manager Bob Melvin after the game, and we had played together early in our careers, and he was as down as I had ever seen him, Kenny. I'm talking about Reddick. 12 guys on the disabled list for the Oakland A's, and I'm sure when he sees this, he'll be holding his breath.
Looks like Vogt is going to continue. He's heading down to first base. Anytime you take one near the hands or the wrist or the forearms, there's a lot of concern. He's slowing it down for you, but that's not going to slow down the pain for Stephen Vogt. So 2 on with 1 out. Here's Jake Smolinski, his first at bat of the season. Called up today with Josh Reddick going on the disabled list. Smolinski was down at the AAA Nashville.
He's hitting .248 with 3 home runs, 15 RBIs, but he was a hot hitter lately. .471 his last 17 at bats.
And he'll take one low and inside for a ball. Now Smolinski can play all 3 outfield positions. Tonight he's in right field. So the A's are going to have to deal without Josh Reddick, who was really having himself a good year. Hit a home run here last night. The A's only run of the game. Swing and a miss on a changeup.
Good one too, and Meredith talked about the arm action in that last outing that CC had against Baltimore a couple of weeks ago. And good arm action will lead to good changeups, will lead to a lot of hitters way out in front.
Fifth time there's been a swing and a miss at a Sabathia offering tonight. chopper foul behind Ron Washington, the third base coach. And CC jumps ahead on the count 1-2. Another thing that CC had working for him in that Baltimore game, you saw one of those highlights. He got Adam Jones who grounded to a inning-ending double play that got him out of trouble. It's funny because I was talking to CC the other day, and Jones was looking for the changeup. He was leaning outside, and he jammed him with a cutter and got him to ground into a double play. And he said Jones was mad about that the next day because they went out to lunch together. Ball is line foul. I wonder who bought.
CC might be able to do the same thing right here to Smolinski out in front of a changeup.
There are your runners. Butler at second, Vogt at first. Not the speediest pair. Ball is hit in the air to left field. Gardner coming on is there and makes the catch for out number 2. So Smolinski hit it pretty well, but there are 2 down. Tonight's injury report brought to you by Montefiore, doing more in state-of-the-art health care. And this is the look at the injury to Josh Reddick. And right away he called time. Now we thought because Castro's foot hit him in the head, but that wasn't it. He jams his thumb, and according to Didi and Castro, he didn't want to take his batting glove off because he knew it was bad. So his thumb is fractured, and he's going to be out for a while. Designated hitter at the plate is Matt McBride. And he lines one foul. These A's hitters out in front of the changeup. McBride was signed as a minor league free agent back in December out of Lehigh University. He'd come up with the Colorado Rockies. And that pitch is downstairs for a ball.
He can kind of do it all. He can catch, he can play some right field, he can play some first base.
Yeah, they have 2 players in their lineup. Ladendorf on deck can play all over the field as well. One pitch hit in the air to left field. This is going to be in there for a base hit. Butler rounding third. He will score. Vogt will go into third, and McBride will scamper into second as he drives in the first run of the ball game. So a 2-out hit gets the job done, and the A's jump out in front.
Well, it talked an awful lot about the changeup in that Baltimore game, and it looked like a changeup to McBride. You can see he's out front, but he's able to keep his bat moving towards the pitcher, and that keeps his bat in the zone a little bit longer, and he's going to be able to loop one down the left field line. Not a bad pitch from Sabathia.
Number 9 hitter coming to the plate, Tyler Ladendorf. We talked about his versatility. He was in the game in right field and at second base last night. And he'll take one outside. Ladendorf has spent most of his career in the minor leagues. Go back to 2008. He was a second-round draft pick of the Minnesota Twins. Got a reputation as a good fielder. He hasn't had a hit since he's been recalled from the minor leagues. Lays down a bunt. Sabathia bounces off the mound, flips to first base in time for the out. Ladendorf trying to push one by Sabathia, couldn't quite get it past the big lefty. But the A's break out in front. They pick up a run on one hit and lead 1-0. Sabathia makes the play. TV Premium, the #1 live streaming sports service, delivers everything you've come to expect and more. Watch every out-of-market game live in HD on over 400 supported devices. Includes a free subscription to @Bat Premium, the #1 app for live baseball. Blackout and other restrictions apply. Visit MLB.tv for details.
Jacoby Ellsbury, first pitch swinging. Top of the third inning, the A's take an early 1-0 lead. 3 hits already for the Yankees against Sonny Gray. Ellsbury grounded out to second base his first at bat. Batting average at .275 for Ellsbury. He's been swinging a hot bat lately. Gray with that good fastball misses up and in. So Matt McBride gets a big hit to give the A's the lead. His first RBI single. First big league RBI since September 1st of 2014.
That's when he was with Colorado.
Ellsbury ahead in the count here, 3-1. Yankees trying to fight back a little bit. Fastball right down the middle. Gray took a no decision his last time out against Tampa Bay. Lost to Boston the start before, Seattle the start before that, and then Detroit. There's a leadoff walk for Jacoby Ellsbury here to start up the third. First walk of the game for Sonny Gray, and Kenny, you mentioned he's walking a lot more, elevating a lot more pitches, and the curveball hasn't been sharp.
Oh, we talked about the formula at the end of the game for the Yankees with their 3 relievers. The murderer's throw, is that what was in our open? Well, the formula during the game is to get Ellsbury and Gardner on base, and they've been doing that a lot lately. Ellsbury was on twice last night. Gardner was on 4 times last night.
Ellsbury with his 9 stolen bases taking his lead, not running. Gardner first pitch swing, foul ball. Stephen Vogt behind the plate catching for the A's, more of an offensive catcher, throws about 20% of the runners out. So you can take advantage of him behind the plate.
Well, if that's the case, if you're a pitcher, you should know that, and you should do a better job of holding the runners. I mean, he's not exactly Hank Conger, who hasn't thrown out many people at all. Conger, of course, with the Tampa Bay. And I think if you're a pitcher, you've got to hold the ball, slide step. Some pitchers don't like the slide step because it takes something off their pitches.
All the little things that you can do to control a running game. Listen, Kenny, when I was behind the plate, all I wanted was just give me a chance. I don't want you to overdo it with the running game, but just give me a chance. Gray throws over.
You know, we should relate the story because we were on the field before the game. You're talking to the greatest base stealer of all time, Ricky Henderson, and you actually threw him out one time. One time.
One time. Yeah, there's Ricky. Working for the Oakland A's now. Yeah, you didn't mention all the other times I didn't throw him out, Kenny, but Ricky knew all about him today. Ooh, a high changeup, and Brett Gardner doesn't like the call. Phil Miller behind the plate.
Oh, we got it.
And you can see the smile on his face, and he looks at. We played together in San Diego. And I told Ricky, I said, you know what, I think I was 0 for 4 or 5 before we played together. And I said, I'm going to get my shot to get you. Earlier in that game, he stole second base, and I had my shot, Kenny. You know, you're looking down there, they got a bad jump, and I made a bad throw. Came up to the plate the next time. I said, you're the greatest of all time. You got me. Fastball just misses. And then sure enough, he tries to steal.
And you got him.
And I got him. The only time in my career. Look at that fastball just off the plate. Ricky wanted that one. just to finish off that story, he signed a baseball for me, Kenny, about throwing him out for my daughter at the time. Right back to Gray. High throw to second to Semien, over to first, and Brett Gardner's going to beat it up. Looked like what should have been a double play, hard hit ball, a high throw to second base.
Now Joe Girardi's thinking about the play at second with Semien on the bag at second base, and there's not going to be a challenge. Semien got across that bag fairly quickly. He knew he had to hurry, but you're right, Flash. The throw is high, and it takes time for him to bring it down, get it to his bare hand to throw it to first base. And in doing so, Gardner, of course, runs very well, is going to beat the throw to first. So Sonny Gray did not help himself with that throw to second.
One down will be Carlos Beltran, who had a double going the other way in the first inning. Just to finish that story, Kenny.
So he signs the ball.
So he signs the ball for my daughter, who I think at that time was 3 years old. And today, one of the first things he asked me, he says, "How's that little girl I signed that baseball for?" Which, little things like that impress you about a guy who's had, I mean, just an unbelievable career.
Well, and then you told him
that little girl is now 18 years old and going to Northeastern University next year. One of my biggest questions for Ricky, with all those stolen bases, is physically, how is he doing? And he said, "You know what? I'm 100% good to go. Still in great shape." And Yankee fans will be happy he will be at Old Timers Day coming up in a few weeks at Yankee Stadium. When I asked him if he was going to be there, he said, "I would not miss it."
You think he's going to try and steal?
He stole on me last year in Old Timers Day. I said, just like old times, doesn't matter.
Yeah, I'll tell you, playing against Ricky in this ballpark and in Baltimore, our pitchers did not want, they hated it when he got on base. He had a very high on base percentage. That's in a way helped him become the all-time base stealer. But he was also dangerous at the plate. If you laid one in there, he's going to hit it out of the ballpark.
What were you talking about, Jim Palmer, right?
Palmer gave up a home run to him because they told him don't walk it. So then he gives up the homer. He comes back in. What do you want me to do? He really had our pitchers' numbers. They were really frustrated with him. A lot of them wanted to drill him, but then he'd be at first base.
Yeah. Steal second, steal third. Gardner taking his lead. It'll be a 2-2 to Carlos Beltran. Ground ball to second. Over to short. A 4-6 Grano. Carlos Beltran beats it. Hustling down the line. A couple of opportunities here for double plays. The Oakland A's can't convert.
Well, they were working on this transfer from second to short before the ball game today. Third base coach Ron Washington is also the infield instructor. And Beltran kind of turning back the clock here. Back in the day, you wouldn't have a chance to get Beltran on a double play, and still getting down the line.
That extends the inning here in the third. Pitch count is elevated already for Sonny Gray at 59. Yankees have been making him work, trying to finish off some innings. 2 down will be Brian McCann. Had a base hit his first at bat. 19 in the first, 24 in the second, 17 here in the third.
24 pitches in the second inning. He only faced 4 batters. Well, the Yankees ran a lot of deep counts that inning.
Yankees have done a good job. You get a couple of quick outs, and then Gregorius in the second gets a base hit. You extend the inning. You elevate the pitch count. You're behind in this ball game, but you're going to be in this bullpen for the Oakland A's.
Well, McCann should be thinking about something to really drive here. A 2-0 pitch.
He's just thinking that his first at bat he went the other way. I don't think he's thinking the other way right here.
Nope. You are really open for business when you're ahead on the count.
Two-one to Brian McCann. Fastball misses down and in.
Thinking the same thing
Yep.
you were 2-0.
Yep.
3-1. Here's Ricky talking to Ricky before the game.
Well, Ricky always used to talk to Ricky back in the day. Now he's got an actual Ricky Henderson to talk to. Like a changeup that misses. So another walk for Sonny Gray here in the third.
They have those characters they call the legends. They have one for Raleigh Fingers, one for Dennis Eckersley, and one for Ricky Henderson. And later on, oh, there they are. And later, and then they turn around and face the camera, just as we mentioned their names. But later on in the game, in between innings, they actually have a race. And it's interesting because about 3/4 they keep it even, and then the last quarter of the race they really sprint.
Isn't that where Ricky should take over?
He lost last night.
Change up in the dirt, gets away from the boat. Beltran will advance at third. Brian McCann stays at first.
What do you think, Flash?
Wild pitch.
Well, it was in the dirt, but my point is it's off the tip of the glove. It maybe should have done a better job. As we look at that on Yesmo, brought to you by your Mercedes-Benz Tri-State dealer. That ball really scampered away.
Looked like he got caught in between right there. It's going to be a wild pitch. Mark Teixeira, who's really been struggling lately, he's in a hitter's count right now, 2-0. Batting average just over 200. If there's anybody who could use a big swing of the bat right now, it's Mark Teixeira. 2-0. We'll see if Gray comes right at him, and he does. Pulls it foul.
This is what we've been talking about with Gray, falling behind on counts consistently, and eventually somebody's going to tag you. See him blowing into his hands. It's a little chilly here tonight. What we say is in the 50s.
50s.
It's Kurt Young, the pitching coach. We've got the hoodies on tonight.
Starlin Castro on deck. If you're Mark Teixeira, it doesn't get any better looking than this right here. The fifth third ball count for Gray tonight. Should be a good pitch to hit. Ooh, right down the middle. Teixeira takes it. So Brian McCann will be on the move. 3-2, 2 outs. Maybe a little more down and away than I thought. 70th pitch for Sonny Gray. 3-2 pitch to Mark Teixeira. It's a fastball right down the middle. Just blows him away. So Gray got in a little trouble, worked his way out of it. We talked about the great Ricky Henderson, and this is when he broke Lou Brock's stolen base record. Ricky was and is the greatest. conversation brought to you by Toyota. RAV4 Hybrid is the official hybrid vehicle of the Yankees. And our question, do you think Betances, Miller, and Chapman need a nickname as a trio? Why or why not? At Anthony John 925. No, just let them pitch. No need for hype. Remember what happened with Jabba, Hughes, and Kennedy. Follow Yes Network and tweet us your responses using the hashtag Yes or Yankees RAV4 Hybrid to keep the conversation going.
I didn't know that Jabba, Hughes, and Kennedy had a nickname.
Big three, right? They were talking about that Generation Trey and all that stuff.
Okay.
I kind of agree. No need for a nickname, right?
Just let him close out games.
Close out the games. I know Betances and Miller talk an awful lot about the bullpen as a whole, not just the big three. Ground ball to Torreyes, knocks it down, can't find it. Hard hit ball. We'll see how they score that.
And it's right at him. It's got to be an error. Crisp hits this one pretty hard. So it's like it hits the heel of the glove, and then he's looking all over for it, and it's right in front of him. Not really sure where it went, and oh, there it is. CC, hey, right there. Hey, too late. Crisp is on. I believe that's got to be an E5. I believe.
Bring on Marcus Semien. Takes a first pitch strike. We take a look at our Jeep hitter scouting report on Semien. Plenty of power, 10 home runs already and only 133 at bats. Made some major defensive improvements from last year. 35 errors last year, only 2 this year. He was part of that Jeff Samardzija trade in 2014. He's getting a nice return on that to this point with the power and the improved defense. Kenny will be an error on Torreyes. Coco Crisp on first base doesn't run like he used to when he was a younger man. 4 stolen bases on the year, has been thrown out 3 times.
Earlier this year, I mentioned it last night, he picked up his career stolen base number 300.
Interesting career. He came up as a kid who can really fly, switch hitter, and then he started hitting some home runs a little bit, became dangerous. Been around a long time. The 1-2 to Semien. Sinker misses down.
If I'm Torreyes, I'm thinking, hit one to me so I can start a double play.
Breaking ball clips the outside corner for strike 3. Second strikeout for Sabathia.
Both of them called third strikes. Semien caught looking, and this ball is going to sweep over the outside corner. Looks like it's outside. McCann does a good job of holding it right there for Bill Miller to make the call. And Semien is out number 1.
One down will be Danny Valencia. He struck out his first at bat to end the first inning. Break the ball for strike 1. Sabathia pitching tonight, Kenny. It's like he's in cruise mode. You know, doesn't look like he's trying to add on, just kind of hitting his spots, changing some speeds. To be in pretty good control of himself mechanically. Ground ball the other way, just out of the reach of Castro. Coco Crisp will hold up at second base.
Yeah, when you have 1 out, the infielder, shortstop, and the second baseman usually pinch towards the bag at second, trying for the double play. They want to get the ball to each other as quickly as possible. But you can see that opens up the holes between the first baseman and the second baseman, and the shortstop and the third baseman. And that makes it even more difficult to make this play. And Valencia has himself a base hit.
The the second hit that Sabathia has given up to this point. It'll be Chris Davis. Flew out to center field his first at bat. Home runs already with his first pitch fastball for strike one.
Yeah, he is tied with 3 other players for the league lead: Robinson Cano, Todd Frazier, and Mark Trumbo. All started the action today with 12 home runs.
29 RBIs to go along with those 12 home runs. Big swing and a miss at a changeup.
He was trying to unload the wagon, wasn't he? With one swing.
Straight up and down stance for Davis. Not a whole lot of movement. The 0-2 from Sabathia, down and in. Ground ball to Torreyes, to Castro. Mark Teixeira going to pull him off the bag, and Coco Crisp comes around third. So it looked like should have been a 5-4-3 double play. An errant throw by Castro.
Now those are the ones you got to make to get the pitcher out of the inning, save some pitches. Torreyes did get a redeemer, a chance to start the double play. He did give Castro a pretty good throw. But Castro's throw was offline. Teixeira had to leave the bag. Maybe a little low. And there's the throw, and Teixeira saves a run by coming off the bag. And offline kind of drags it well offline, and the inning will continue.
2 down. It'll be Billy Butler, who walked his first at bat. Butler has had plenty of at-bats against Sabathia. 42 now to this point. About 270, 1 home run, couple RBIs career against Sabathia.
Curveball's been Sabathia's best pitch this inning. He drops another one in there for a strike.
Great looking on in that Oakland A dugout. 1-1 to Billy Butler. Fouled off the other way.
You know, one thing, if you're a third baseman or shortstop or second baseman and a first baseman, there's a lot of foul territory. So when the ball goes up, you got to at least start for it.
50 pitches for Sabathia, having to work here in the bottom of the third. Fastball misses up.
Primary pitches for Sabathia in that Baltimore game were his changeup and his cutter, but every once in a while he'd ride a fastball upstairs. And the Oriole hitters were very aggressive. They ended up checking their swings, but going around too far.
Ground ball foul. The 2-2 to Butler. Again off the plate away. So Chris Davis at first base. He'll be on the move here. 3-2, 2 outs. Stephen Vogt waiting on deck.
Teixeira drops behind the runner at first. Not going to hold him on. Just a step behind him.
Big swing and a miss on a changeup. So Sabathia got himself into a little bit of trouble here in the third, able to work his way out of it. Yankees trailing 1-0. Another clash with the Athletics. Catch Audi batting practice today and the Chevy pregame starting at 3 o'clock, and then we'll call all the action from the Coliseum right here on Yes and streaming live on Fox Sports Go.
Masahiro Tanaka. It'll be Tanaka time here in Oakland tomorrow.
Yankees trailing 1-0 on our Audi scoreboard. And Starlin Castro to start the 4th inning. Starlin hit a fly ball to center field. 273, 5 home runs, 16 RBIs. Got off to that hot start. Skies one that looks like it's going to find the seats down the line over the Yankee bullpen. You see everybody in the stands all bundled up. A chilly night here in Oakland. Breeze blowing out to right field.
Fans in this area, as we mentioned, they had a choice. Game going on across the bay in San Francisco and one going on here in Oakland. They had 2 pretty good pitching matchups.
Looked like Castro went around.
And Sonny Gray and Sabathia here, and Arrieta and Peavy over on the other side of the bay.
How about the Chicago Cubs and the start they've gotten off to?
Yeah.
All that hype and they're living up to it.
White Sox are playing well too in the American League, although they're trailing tonight in the 9th inning, losing to Kansas City.
1-2 and a weak swing at a curveball. Vogt applies the tag. 1 out here in the 4th.
If there's one thing that Castro will do, he will fish for a slider away. And I think the league is starting to get a handle on that particular pitch. And it's their go-to pitch when they want to strike him out. Sliders away from the right-handed pitchers. Very aggressive hitter.
Kenny, we got a report on Sonny Gray that he was elevating the curveball, but tonight looks pretty good and spiked that one in the dirt there. And bring up Aaron Hicks, who grounded out his first at bat. Aaron drove in a run last night to give the Yankees a lead. They were able to add on with Carlos Beltran, his 2-run home run late. With Alex Rodriguez on the disabled list, Aaron Hicks getting some more at bats.
Gray trying to keep the ball away from him. First 3 pitches, the first 2 just missed. That one does clip the outside corner. There's a rod. It's got to be in that frustrated mode. Not getting it. He's been taking BP and swinging the bat well at BP. Of course, they want you to hit it in batting practice. He hit some long shots in that Chase Field in Arizona. He's hit a few long ones here too in batting practice.
Well, I guess there hasn't been any talk of a rehab assignment at all, huh? Right, when you're ready, you're coming back in the lineup. There's a walk to Aaron Hicks. Greater coverage of baseball, which is brought to you by T-Mobile. Chris Sale 9-0, 1.58 ERA, off to a great start. Leads Major League Baseball 9 wins in 3 complete games.
9 starts, 9-0. That's as good as it gets.
Opponent's batting average 163. So Hicks takes his lead off of first base. It'll be Didi Gregorius, who had a base hit his first at bat.
You look at those numbers from Chris Sale, you have to think, you hope that he pitches the day before you get there. If you're another team coming into Chicago or they're coming into your town. Brian McCann and Robert Thompson, Yankee bench coach, talking things over.
Ground ball in the hole. Aaron Hicks around second base. He's going to go to third. So Didi Gregorius 2 for 2, couple of base hits, and the Yankees are all set up here in the top of the fourth. Sonny Gray has had to work tonight. He's thrown at least 3 pitches to every batter and 4 or more to all but 2.
This is why that hole is open for left-handed hitters. Runner has to be held on, and that ball was hit softly enough that Aaron Hicks could go all the way to third, and the Yankees have another opportunity to score against Sonny Gray here.
Bring up the number 9 hitter, Ronald Torreyes. Struck out in the second. An opportunity here, a little situational hitting, trying to drive in a run, first and third, 1 out. Third base coach Joe Espada going through the signs. Torreyes looking down. Hunt that fastball out over the plate, try to elevate something to the middle of the field. Oh, he bunts.
Safety squeeze play on. The runner from third will not start until the ball is actually on the ground, as opposed to the suicide squeeze when he's coming down the line and hopes that the batter makes contact.
Reminds me in 2003 when I was a backup player, and Joe Torre would put that play on a lot. As a backup, Kenny, it actually something that I enjoyed. You know, you'd get a nice RBI. Felt like you were contributing offensively. The 1-1 to Torreyes, hits this ball well to the gap in left center field. Crisp on the run, not able to make the play. Hicks will score easily. Here comes Gregorius around third. He's being waved home. And Torreyes cruises into third base with what will be a triple and a couple of RBIs. The number 9 hitter for the Yankees coming through big time.
How about that? You go from a safety squeeze to a 2-run triple on the very next pitch. And he was flying around the bases. Torreyes puts this in play with authority. And right here, he's going to turn it on. He's thinking third base. Plenty of Swift as he hits third. He rounded third like he wanted to go home.
Well, the Oakland A's are going to bring the infield in for Jacoby Ellsbury. Torreyes taking his lead off the third, 1 out. Ellsbury first pitch swinging, catcher's interference. We see it all the time.
Here's another look. Crisp on the move, reaches and can't get it. And reaching with 2 hands, you don't see that very often. Looked like he was trying to catch a long touchdown pass. And his momentum carried him away from the ball. And if we're going to look at the catcher's interference, we talk about this all the time with Ellsbury. Because of his swing, you see Vogt reach for the ball. That's going to be an E2. Error on the catcher.
You know what? I'm sure all the catchers around baseball are told about Ellsbury. He lets the ball travel so deep and just kind of tries to slap at it. But as a catcher, you're comfortable with your own positioning behind the plate. And Vogt just got caught again. First and third, 1 out. It's a wild pitch. Torreyes will score. Ellsbury to second. 8th wild pitch by Gray. That is the most in the American League. Now that's the 8th on the year.
Not only the Yankees get a run, they move a runner into scoring position. Well, not much chance for Vogt on that one. Buried that in the dirt, almost in the batter's box in front of Gardner. So the wheels have kind of come off this inning, and it all goes back to a walk. You know, we talked about the walks that have haunted him this year. He walked Hicks to get it going.
Now batting, number 11, Brett Gardner.
We're going to take a look at our Honda League leaders. Highest ERA in the AL this season. Sonny Gray is on that list, 5.84. Leading the list, Michael Pineda, 6.6. Things getting away from Sonny Gray a little bit here in the top of the 4th inning. 1-0 to Gardner, fouls it off. '89 pitches already for Sonny Gray. He's thrown 114 in the start this year. Yankees making him work, having trouble finishing off innings. Now able to break through a little bit here in the 4th.
Marcus Semien really paying attention to Ellsbury at second base with 1 out. And Ellsbury's certainly capable of stealing third, but Semien will camp himself right behind Ellsbury, and then at the last moment he'll drop back into position.
The 1-2 to Brett Gardner. Nice job by Vogt blocking that ball, the curveball in the dirt.
Almost another wild pitch. Here's what Flash is talking about. Textbook Flash.
That's pretty good. It's as good as you can do it. Well, you would ask, well, why didn't he block the other pitch? That was a wild pitch. That was a fastball. Catchers were told, you know what, you're not expected to block a fastball. The off-speed pitches, that's your responsibility. Expecting it to be in the dirt.
I was talking to Brett before the game about that home run he hit in Arizona, and that was on a changeup in the first inning, and he kept his hands back just enough. He was a little off balance, but he still got a decent swing at it, and he just hit it on the sweet spot, and that ball jumped out of the ballpark at Chase Field.
The 2-2. The breaking ball down in the dirt.
Control of the breaking ball this year has been a problem for Sonny Gray.
He's had trouble going the 3rd time through a lineup too. Opponents hitting .333 the 3rd time around. 93 pitches already. 1 out here in the 4th inning. The fastball misses again. As Bob Melvin looks on, that is the 4th walk for Sonny Gray tonight.
Well, remember what we said about the 4 walks. The last time the Yankees have received 4 walks in a game, the last 7 times they've won each game. That usually means the starter or the pitchers are struggling with control. The pitch counts get up. Bullpen comes in. There's Ryan Dull getting up.
Carlos Beltran takes a first pitch strike. Double in the 1st inning for Beltran. It's Ryan Dull getting going in that Oakland A bullpen. The Oakland A's playing Beltran to pull in the infield. We've seen him go the other way in this series. Ellsbury takes his lead off a second. Gardner off a first.
Behind on another count to a dangerous hitter.
A lot of room right there. Hit a nice little ground ball to short.
Got a speeding runner at second too. Oh, speeding runner at first as well.
It'll be a 2-1. Another fastball that Vogt knocks down, but Ellsbury's going to be able to advance to third.
Be a wild pitch.
Wow. expecting the fastball away. It ends up down and in, and Vogt is in survival mode behind the plate.
And scrambling. 9th wild pitch of the year for Sonny Gray. He's taken over that category.
Another Yankee hitter and ahead in the count, 3-1. Carlos Beltran should get a good pitch to hit. And he does. Right back up the middle. Line drive to Coco Crisp. Going to be over his head. Ellsbury will score easily. Here comes Gardner around third. He will score, and it's going to be 2 RBIs on the double for Carlos Beltran, and the Yankees taking it to Sonny Gray here in the 4th inning.
Well, in all fairness to Sonny Gray, this ball is misplayed in center field by Coco Crisp. It's hit hard for sure, but he comes in and then the ball gets over his head. It's like Gray can't believe it. Here's the line drive, comes in, couple of false steps, leaps, can't get it. Ball's up against the center field wall, and we told you the Yankees had speedy runners on, and both of them score. Ellsbury and Gardner. Is Coco Crisp not quite tall enough?
Manager Bob Melvin has to make the Verizon call to the bullpen. It's going to be Ryan Dull coming in for the Oakland A's. The Yankees scored 5 here in the 4th, looking to add on.
Your attention, please. For the Athletic.
Yankees having a big top of the 4th inning. 5 runs already. Brian McCann looking to add on. Coco Crisp having a tough inning in center field for the A's. Ryan Dull takes over. Kenny, we give him the benefit of the doubt. Coco Crisp, the wind blowing out to center field. No,
not on that one.
5-1 Yankees.
Once you take that false step in on a line drive, makes it very difficult to recover and get back on it.
We're in the numbers. It'll be the 19th game. 3.48 ERA. Opponent's hitting 197 against Dull. Ball hit to the right side. Billy Butler up with it. Dull got off to a good start this year. 7 1/3 innings scoreless. He's allowed 9 runs in the past 11 games, and there is the line for Sonny Gray. 3 1/3, 6 hits, 5 runs, 4 walks, and 3 strikeouts. So his misery continues this year.
Yankees have batted around here in the 4th inning.
Fly out and a strikeout for Teixeira. The batting average now at 200. Trying to get something going. Gets jammed, a little lazy fly ball to right field. So Dull comes in and does a good job getting 2 outs. But the Yankees do some damage. 5 runs against Sonny Gray. They lead 5-1. An all-new episode of the W.B. Mason Presents the Joe Girardi Show as the skipper recaps the Yankees' week out west. Plus, get Joe's take on the top plays of the week. All that and more Sunday at 8 o'clock only on Yes. As a happy Yankee fan in Oakland. The Yankees scored 5 runs in the top of the 4th. Sabathia back out to work here in the bottom half. For Sonny Gray, we talked about his tough year. The Yankees leading 5-1 on the Audi scoreboard. 3 of his last 9 starts for Sonny Gray. He has not finished 4 innings. Hard to imagine from what we've seen from him the past couple of years.
14-game winner last year, 14-game winner the year before. Opening day type starter for these Oakland A's.
CC Sabathia will take it. Now a 4-run lead for Sabathia. They're in the bottom of the 4th. Vogt was hit by a pitch, his first at bat. He's had a tough night, Kenny. Hit by a pitch. He's had to deal with Sonny Gray and his wildness. Balls in the dirt all over the place. So catcher's interference.
Yeah. It's not how he drew it up coming out to the ballpark today.
Stephen Vogt, an all-star last year. 3 home runs, only 7 RBIs. Off to a slow start in the production department. The 2-2 from Sabathia. Goes with the breaking ball. Ground ball pulled foul. Sabathia spent a couple of weeks on the disabled list with a groin problem. Doesn't look to be affecting him at all tonight. Got off the mound fielding a bunt. Big breaking ball for a swing and a miss. Strikeout here to start the bottom of the 4th.
Yeah, an off-speed breaking ball, and that's his 4th strikeout of the game. CC, now this wasn't the changeup, that was a breaking ball, but the fact that CC had changed his grip on his changeup, and that was a result of him getting hit hard in the spring training game. He said instead of holding on 4 seams, he's going to hold it 2 seams, and it gave it a little more fade, and that's the pitch that we saw that worked so effectively in Baltimore.
One down would be Jake Smolinski. The line drive to left field, his first at bat, and he quickly falls behind.
We mentioned Smolitsky getting called up because of the fact that Josh Reddick fractured his thumb last night, and to me that's a big loss for the A's. Big loss. He's left-handed hitter, represents left-handed power for them. Good defender, strong arm, was having a good year. They're really going to miss it. I'm here to baseball. I like that attitude.
Reddick was talking last night how disappointed he was, kind of solidified himself as a number 3 hitter in this lineup. High batting average, power starting to come a little bit.
Top 10 in the league in batting average and on base percentage. And hitting against right-handed pitchers, which now the A's have lost it. Depending on how long he's out, at least a month, you would think.
4 to 6 weeks, I think is what they were saying. 12 players on the disabled list for the Oakland Athletics. That is tough to overcome. Ground ball to Torreyes. Good strong throw, 2 down.
Usually when CeCe's on the mound, third baseman and shortstop are busy. A lot of ground balls to the left side. In fact, the last 3 times that the Yankees have turned a triple play, it's gone 5-4-3, and CeCe Sabathia has been the pitcher that threw it. And one of them was here in Oakland.
With 2 down, it's going to be Matt McBride. RBI single in the 2nd inning from Lehigh University. Talked about it his first at bat. He can play some outfield, can play some first base, the backup catcher. Sabathia quickly ahead in the count, 0-2, looking to have a shutdown inning after the Yankees scored 5 runs in the top of the 4th.
Well, Matt McBride, born and raised in Bethlehem, Pennsylvania, and Lehigh is in. So he didn't have far to go away to school. Excellent university.
The 0-2 from Sabathia. Fastball in, pulled foul.
But Lehigh is around where Meredith grew up. Her neck of the woods. And she took her act to Philadelphia and went to LaSalle. Big city.
Slider on the outside corner gets McBride looking. So Sabathia, a very strong bottom of the 4th, couple of strikeouts. The Yankees lead 5-1.
Ryan, of course, that game going on across the bay, and the Cubs have the lead in that one, but they've lost to Hayward. Cadillac scoreboard, 5-1 Yankees. We move to the top of the 5th, and Starlin Castro from Brian Dull takes one outside for ball 1. Yankees scoring all 5 of their runs last inning. 5 runs, 3 hits, and an error for the A's. Good breaking ball, swung on and missed, and the count evens up at 1-1. Castro, Hicks, Gregorius for the Yankees here in the 5th. Trying to make it 2 in a row here in Oakland and 3 in a row overall.
Brian McCann talked about it last night, trying to get some runs early.
Ground ball to short for Semien from behind the bag. He throws, and it's by Butler. And Castro will head down to second base. That will be an error on Semien. And remember, we said he had been much improved this year after making 35 errors last year, led the major leagues. That is just his 3rd error of this season.
Yeah, this reminds you of last year when a routine ground ball hit the Semien. You didn't know where the throw was going to be. Comes up with it clean, works underneath just a little bit, and it sails on him.
You think Billy Butler should have come off the bag? Right. Because what happens here in Oakland, the ball gets by the first baseman, you're going to second base. In other ballparks, you know, you might be able to scramble and keep the runner at first, but there's a lot of room in foul territory here. So Castro's at second with nobody out, and Aaron Hicks will take a pitch for a call strike.
Thinking back, was the throw that bad? Yeah, just a little bit high. You wonder maybe if a more prolific first baseman would be able to make that play.
Yeah, Butler doesn't play in the field all that often. He's mostly used as a DH. The pitch to Hicks, that misses outside. It's ball and a strike. Here's another look. What do you think, Flash?
Close.
Yeah,
but to your point, probably should have come off and just made sure he caught the ball.
Yeah, and kept Castro at first base one way or the other. Probably would have been safe. But now he's in scoring position. Outside, ball 2. Hicks tonight is grounded to second, drawn a walk, and scored. It was his walk to get the rally started for the Yankees last inning, as they scored 5 times and knocked Sonny Gray out of the game.
Torres was up at the plate. I was talking about situational hitting, trying to drive in a run. We'll see if Hicks can do the same thing, advance the runner.
Dull trying to keep the ball away from him, but misses the outside corner. 3-1.
Hicks looking to pull something to the right side. If you drive in the run, great. If not, you advance Castro to third base.
You can see Gregorius in the on deck circle. He's 2 for 2 tonight. Ball 4. He walked him. Let's go back to the studio where Ryan Ruocco is standing by.
Now batting, number 18, Didi Gregorius.
Thank you very much. As the Yankees here have 2 on. Trumbo takes over the league lead. He was tied with the 3 other players. I mean, he's having a good year. 2 on, nobody out. Here's Gregorius. The A's are looking for the bunt. Let's see how Joe Girardi wants to play this one. This ball is hit high in the air to right field, not very deep, as Smolinski comes on, now drifting back, makes the catch. Castro's going to tag and head for third. Now, we told you the wind is whipping here, and it looked as though, you know, you're supposed to step into the ball to hold the runner. But once he started drifting back, Castro knew he could make it to third base.
Now batting, number 17.
There have been some plays that the Oakland A's really have not looked sharp on tonight. A couple of double plays I thought should have been turned. And here Smolinski comes in too far, goes back and drifts on his heels. Castro is able to take advantage and tag up and move over to third base.
Yeah, it appeared the wind started to catch that one, and he had to drift back to make the catch. But the Yankees, first and third with 1 out. Same situation they had last inning when Torres was at the plate. He had a 2-run triple. Takes one inside for a ball. He's also struck out. Told you coming into the game he was 2 for his last 22. He's 1 for his last 1 now, and it was a big one. 2-run triple.
He's rebounding nicely, made an error, struck out early in the game. Triple will make you feel a whole lot better about things.
Now this one back to the screen, evens the count at 1-1.
Getting back to what I was talking about, Brian McCann saying that the Yankees can make Joe Girardi's life a whole lot easier. Scoring runs early in ball games, extending that lead so you don't have to go to the big 3 every night. They've been playing some close games lately.
I would think that Dellin Betances there, right on the right side of the screen, sitting in the front. He's a non-factor tonight. He's pitched a lot in the last 2 days. Throw over the first. Hicks is back. There's Andrew Miller. Ball is popped up. Plenty of room for Billy Butler. The wind gets it and he drops the ball. Whoa. That is going to be an error on the first baseman. Now, one thing we should point out, the A's lead the American League in errors. They've made 3 tonight. They now have 34 errors on the season.
And the crowd getting a little restless here in Oakland. We talked about it, Kenny. Butler doesn't play a lot of first base, but this is a play that has to be made.
Well, you feel about 2 inches tall when that happens. Extends to Reyes' at bat. He checks his swing and the pitch is outside for a ball. Let's see if Torreyes can take advantage of it. He should have been out. The error extends his at bat. Swings and misses, strike 3. And that's a second out. So Torreyes does not take advantage. And that'll leave it up to Jacoby Ellsbury, who'll come up with 2 out and 2 on here in the 5th.
Number 22, Jacoby Ellsbury.
2 errors this inning. Ellsbury reached on an error his last time. Bouncing ball right back to Dull. He'll flip to Butler, who handles this one, and that'll do it for the Yankees. They do not score. They leave a couple of runners here in the 5th. The Yankees lead it 5-1 here in Oakland. Comcast customers will miss the entire Yankee season on Yes. There are other TV providers that carry Yes, including DirecTV, Frontier, PlayStation Vue, Fios, and Sling TV. Don't miss any Yankee games on Yes. For more information, go to keepyesnetwork.com. CC Sabathia with a 4-run lead here in the bottom of the 5th inning. Tyler Ladendorf will lead it off. The A's second baseman, who tried to lay down the bunt, and Sabathia threw him out in the 2nd inning. First pitch is in there for a called strike.
Sabathia did not look real happy about that, as you see on our Cadillac scoreboard. The Yankees leading 5-1. I actually thought it was a pretty good play, trying to lay down a bunt.
Well, I'm sure that's a scouting report around the league. That
sure.
He, with the bad knee, not bouncing off the mound, tried to check a swing. Did he go around? No, says first base umpire Pat Holbert. You know what? Landorf's been looking for a hit. He's had some struggles since coming from the minor leagues, so maybe it wasn't such a bad play trying to lay down a bunt. Trying to lay that one down, took it a little bit low for a ball.
I mentioned it earlier. You're watching Sabathia tonight. Looks to be very in control of his mechanics, not overthrowing at all. He's kind of cruising at about 75% effort, able to locate and change speeds.
Three balls and a strike. And since coming back to the minor leagues, Ladendorf is now 0 for 14.
Sabathia's got to go right at him right here. A 4-run lead, the number 9 hitter in the lineup, and the numbers you just mentioned, Kenny.
Just lay it in there.
Fastball right down the middle. Let's see what you can do.
And it's popped up. Teixeira drifts back into fair territory, and Ladendorf is out number 1. And back to the top of the order, and Coco Crisp.
Now batting center fielder, number 4, Coco.
Here's a look at the wind. Crisp has had kind of a rough go of it in the outfield tonight. One thing that Coco Crisp, there's something that hasn't happened to him, and he's got the longest active streak going into major leagues. And I'll tell you about it after this pitch. Breaking ball drops in there for a called strike. He has not been hit by a pitch since May 9th, 2011. This is the 553rd game he has gone without being hit. That's the longest streak in the major leagues. And it helps that he's a switch hitter. It gives you a little more time to get out of the way. The pitch is low because you're always on the opposite side of the pitcher's arm.
You also watch him hitting right-handed here, well off the plate. Still, you'd expect one just to get away from the pitcher, wouldn't you?
Graze your uniform or something. Checks his swing here. Sabathia falls behind 2 balls, and it was C.J. Wilson that hit him. May 9th, 2011. That's over 5 years ago. Ball is hit in the air to left field for Brett Gardner. Measures it, catches it. 2 outs. Sabathia has retired 7 in a row. Brings up Marcus Semien. We talked about Semien's power. 10 home runs for a shortstop at this stage of the season is pretty good. But the big number about those home runs, 7 of them have come from the 7th inning on. So he hits them in the clutch and off relievers. That pitch is low. Sabathia trying to work a 1-2-3-5 and give his teammates a chance to get to the plate in the 6th inning. Oh, good hook, and it's in there for a strike. Well, that game in Baltimore, he and McCann were on the same page, and you don't see many shakeoffs tonight. They're just the same sort of rhythm with every pitch. Got the same amount of time between each pitch. Change up over the outside corner for a called strike. 1-2. Semien, a local product, went to Cal Berkeley. Born in San Francisco, now lives in Oakland. Tried to check. Did he do so? Strike 3. Pat Hoberg says he went around too far, and Sabathia picks up his 6th strikeout. Through 5, the Yankees have a 5-1 lead. If you can't catch the games on TV, now you can stream them live on your mobile device with the all-new Fox Sports Go app. Download the app and take the Yankees on Yes wherever you go. Available only for DirecTV, Optimum, and Time Warner Cable subscribers. Sabathia in the dugout watching his teammates here in the 6th inning. Brett Gardner's going to lead it off, and Ryan Dull misses outside for ball 1. Dull took over for Sonny Gray, who lasted just 3 1/3 innings. 5-1 Yankees here in the top of the 6th. Gardner, Beltran, and McCann for the Yankees, scheduled hitters here in the 6th inning. And that pitch is in there for a call strike, 1-1. And somewhat of a subdued crowd here at Oakland Coliseum. Gardner hits it on the ground, hits it sharply. Semien comes up with it. This throw is not in time. Brett Gardner beats it out. And that's going to go as an infield single. Hustling down the first baseline. And Semien looked like he took his time, and it didn't pay off.
You wonder what manager Bob Melvin is thinking in that Oakland A dugout. 3 errors already for Oakland. Semien takes his time, and Brett Gardner just makes him pay. It's caught kind of on an in-between hop, but there a little more hesitation than he probably needed.
Wasn't even that close. Beltran will take a pitch outside for ball 1. Carlos has had a good night, a couple of doubles, his 9th and 10th of the year. 2 runs batted in.
I believe the manager of the Oakland A's not real happy tonight. You lose a game last night, you lose Josh Reddick, one of your best players. Now you're watching your team defensively. 3 errors already. A lot of plays that should have been made have not been made.
Well, remember when the Yankees got here, the A's were on a 4-game winning streak. Beltran takes outside, 2 balls, no strikes. Beltran piling up doubles. There's Marcus Semien, who's he, Butler, Crisp, all have looked a little shaky in the field tonight. Smolinski made a catch, and like he was having problems with the wind. mentioned Beltran piling up the doubles. Got 513 doubles. He's just one behind Edgar Martinez for 51st place. And that is in their first strike. Count is 3-1.
Edgar Martinez, the hitting coach for the Seattle Mariners, the first place Mariners.
Yeah. Although, what's going on with them tonight? They won. Ball's hit high in the air. This is pretty deep. Smolinski going back near the wall, looks up, and he can't make the play. The ball's off the wall. Gardner's the third. He's being waved home. There's the play. He is safe. And it's 6-1 Yankees. And by the way, he just tied him. 3 doubles tonight for Carlos Beltran.
Well, we've been talking about that wind blowing out to right field all night. You knew if Beltran got this up in the air, there would be some carry to it. It wasn't his ace swing. He knows it's got a chance because there's a jet stream going out to right field. It's going to be off the wall. Brett Gardner will score. But even the relay throw here, Kenny, from the Oakland A's was set up in a weird way. The throw goes into second base, and then Semien has to reroute it towards home, just out of the reach of Smolinski. So well out of the reach.
So Beltran at second, and the pitch to McCann is outside for a ball. And this is the relay that Flash was talking about. Chris coming all the way over.
Throws it to second base, and then Semien reroutes it towards home. It's a bang bang play. You wonder if there was set up for it a little bit better. There could have been a play.
So Beltran with another run batted in tonight. McCann heads inside for a ball. Drove in 3 last night. He's driven in 3 tonight. Well, fans, the Yankees have scored 6 runs. Go to papajohns.com tomorrow to receive 50% off the regular menu price of all pizzas online with the promo code Yankees6. 3 doubles for Carlos Beltran. This ball is popped up into short center field. Let's see who's going to make the play here. It is Coco Crisp who puts it away. And that is the first down of the inning. Tell you what, if Crisp didn't hustle over there, that certainly would have been at least a triple.
Mark Teixeira.
New pitcher warming up in the bullpen. That's Andrew Triggs, the right-hander. Here's Mark Teixeira. Trying to get it going. 0 for 3 tonight. And he'll take one in there for a call strike.
What do you say? He's got to join the party?
Well, not everybody has a hit tonight. There's a few guys. He's not the only one who doesn't have a base hit tonight.
Batting average now dipping below 200.
There's a swing and a miss, and it's 1-1. But he is the only one. No, he's not. Yeah. Oh, let me see. Yeah, he's the only one who hasn't reached base in any way, shape, or form. Either an error, a walk, or a base hit. That's way upstairs. 2 balls and a strike. Bell has now thrown 34 pitches. Little chopper down the first base side, and it's going to be, who is it? It's going to be Dull who makes the play. Steps on the bag. Beltran moves over to third. That is out number 2. You
get in one of these stretches if you're Mark Teixeira, and it is a tough game.
Here's Castro. Doesn't have a hit, but he did reach on an error. The error by Semien last inning. 0 for 3 for tonight. And that is in there for a call strike. Yankees 6, A's 1. We're in the top of the 6th inning. big inning for the Yankees. They scored 5 times in the 4th. Oh, big swing, and it's fouled back to the screen. 0-2 on Castro. The 0-2 pitch. It's upstairs, 1-2. Carlos Beltran at third with 2 outs. The Yankees have added a run here in the 6th inning. Ground ball towards second. Ladendorf has it. On to Butler, and that'll do it. But the Yankees do pick up a run, another double for Carlos Beltran. His 3rd of the night. There's the first one. Went to the opposite field. This one kind of misplayed, still a double to center. He's going to pick on right field this time. Thought he had a homer. It's only a 2-base hit. Celebrate the 60th anniversary of Mickey Mantle's amazing Triple Crown season on Friday, June 24th, and get one of the hottest collectibles of the season. It's Mickey Mantle's Triple Crown Bobblehead Night, the second in the 2016 collectible series presented by AT&T. For the first 18,000 guests in attendance, for tickets, log on to Yankees.com, visit the Yankee Stadium ticket windows, Yankees clubhouse shops, or call Ticketmaster at 877-469-9849. The Mick. It was a heck of a year. Hit 356 that year. Over 50 home runs. Pitch from Sabathia to Valencia, misses for ball 1. Valencia, Davis, and Butler for the A's here in the 6th. Yankees up 6-1. Ball is popped up to the right side to Sheriff. The wind's got it, but he'll make the play, and there's one down. CC 8 for 11 in the last 3 innings on first pitch strikes. The first 2 innings, only 3 for 9. So he seems like Flash, he's starting to settle in.
Yeah, he's settling in. He's only given up a couple of hits. I just looked at the pitch count. His last time out a few weeks ago against Baltimore was 99 pitches. You don't know how far Girardi's going to extend him, but Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach, and Joe Girardi, the manager, have to be very happy with what they have seen.
Chris Davis will take a pitch for a strike. Now remember, as Flash pointed out in his pitcher scouting report on CC Sabathia, if CC gets the win tonight, this will be his 100th career win as a Yankee. Nice milestone victory. You see Rothschild there on the phone, and should be answered down in the bullpen by Mike Harkey. And the bullpen's going to get a little busy here. A ball and a strike on Davis. Tonight he's flied to right and reached on the fielder's choice. low and inside, 2-1. And it's Kirby Yates who's getting up. Sabathia seems flash to have gone back to his form that he had in Baltimore against the Orioles.
I think that knee brace obviously has helped. That changeup and the new grip that you talked about has helped.
There's a call strike, 2-2.
But I've talked about it a few times tonight. Mechanically, it just looks like he's very smooth and very under control.
One out, nobody on in the 6th inning. Breaking ball lined into left field, and that's the 3rd hit for the A's. Had a double from McBride in the 2nd inning that drove in a run, a single by Valencia in the 3rd, and now a base hit by Davis here in the 6th.
Well, we talked a lot about Chris Davis and how hot he has been driving the ball out of the ballpark. He gets a mistake there and hammers it into left field.
So 1 on, 1 out. Billy Butler to the plate. And Butler's got a no contact night going. He walked and scored in the 2nd, then struck out in the 3rd. Sabathia looking for a ground ball here. Possibility of an inning-ending double play. There's a swing and a miss. Strike 1. Butler had some big years in Kansas City. One year drove in over 100 runs. Another year he had over 90 runs batted in, primarily as a designated hitter. Ball and a strike. Signed with the A's as a free agent. Swing and a miss. Strike 2, 1-2.
And you see those balls on the outer half, and remember Billy Butler in Kansas City just rifling everything the other way.
Yeah.
He's pulling off these balls big time, looking to pull a little bit more than I ever remembered him doing in Kansas City.
Sabathia ahead on the count, a ball and 2 strikes. Still looking for that ground ball at one of his infielders. Swing and a miss. He doesn't get it, but he picks up a strikeout. That is strikeout number 7 for Sabathia, as Butler goes down swinging.
And another ball on the outer half, and Butler not thinking about shooting it the other way at all. Front side opens up a little bit.
That's a season high in strikeouts for Sabathia. He had 6 in his last start against Baltimore. The 2 outs, a man at first, and here's Stephen Vogt, the catcher, who's 0 for 1, was hit by a pitch and also struck out. And that pitch is high. This might be the last batter that CC faces. Trying to complete 6 solid innings here. He went 7 in that game at Baltimore. He allowed no runs on 6 hits. Tonight, it's been 1 run on 3 hits.
Wall right there, a very popular piece of real estate at the Oakland Coliseum. All the coaches lined up.
Two-0 the count on Vogt. Swing and a miss. Matthew picks up a strike, 2-1. I think one thing we should remember, when CC Sabathia has gotten 6 runs of support or more in a game in his career, he's 131-6. The Yankees have scored 6 runs for him tonight. Curve hits the corner, strike 2. Sabathia fights back to even the count. The 2-2 pitch. It is low, and that will set the runner in motion. Davis at first with 2 outs on the payoff pitch to Vogt, which is coming up shortly. Jake Smolinski is on deck. Runner goes. The 3-2 pitch is in there. Call strike 3. Sabathia with his 8th strikeout. Yankees lead 6-1.
Yes is brought to you in part by Buick. Experience a new Buick for yourself at Buick.com. And by People's United Bank. Know your cash flow with mobile cash management.
It's like the traffic isn't heavy going over the Bay Bridge, Flash. Might have an easy ride going back after this one.
You watch CC Sabathia and Brian McCann, all smiles in the Yankee dugout. That is what it's all about between a pitcher and catcher. We've had it all going on tonight. And it looks like that might do it for CC Sabathia. Take it up to that clubhouse. Aaron Hicks, first pitch swinging, base hit right back up the middle. The new pitcher for the Oakland A's, Andrew Triggs. Sabathia getting congratulated by his teammates.
Well, the 8 strikeouts the most since CC beat the Mets last September 20th. He struck out 7 in 6 innings in that game. And well, what did Meredith say? He had 75 to 100 people left tickets. He's going to have a lot of handshaking after this ball game if the Yankees can hold on.
Didi Gregorius takes a first pitch fastball for a strike. Didi's had a good night, couple of hits. Yankees 6-1 on our GMC scoreboard. 9 hits. Andrew Triggs pitching for the Oakland A's, kind of been that pitcher on the staff who's been up and down to AAA a bunch. It's a ground ball to short to second. 6-4-3 double play.
This is the first time the Yankees have ever had a look at Triggs. This is his 7th game.
Claimed off of waivers from Baltimore on March 13th. In Double-A Bowie last year, their closer, now getting a chance here in Oakland. 2 down, it'll be Ronald Torreyes. 2-run triple in the 4th. Chase Headley gets a night off, has been swinging the bat a whole lot better lately. Probably be in there against the left-hander tomorrow. 1-1 from Triggs, and the slider misses badly.
Well, we know how Joe Girardi, he's speaking of the off day for Headley as Kirby Yates warms up in the Yankee bullpen, how he keeps track of the relievers and how many days in a row they work. Kind of makes you think he keeps track of the position players and how many days in a row they play.
There's that conversation, though, Kenny. If you're a player and you're starting to swing the bat better, you want to ride it out as long as you can. Want to be in the lineup.
And you want to keep that momentum going.
Yeah.
Triggs kind of a side wielding delivery. You can see where it might be pretty difficult for right hand hitters to pick it up.
This is his 4th stint with the Oakland A's. Been kind of up and down AAA, and it'll be a 3-2 pitch with Reyes. Fastball misses off the plate. We'll go to the top of the lineup again. Jacoby Ellsbury will be up there for the 5th time.
Number 22, Jacoby Ellsbury.
Walked in the 3rd, scored a run, had another catcher's interference.
Yep, he and Gardner have scored half the runs tonight, and that's, if you're Yankees, that's what you want. Here's the delivery. Arms and legs coming at you. And a knee-high strike.
But the other way, it'd be a base hit for Ellsbury.
He's on again. That base hit gives him a 6-game hitting streak.
That is the 10th hit for the Yankees tonight. They are 11-1 this season when they get 10 or more hits.
Number 11, Brett Gardner.
2 down, it's going to be Brett Gardner. Brett singled his last at bat. Reyes on second, Ellsbury taking his lead off of first. Gardner takes first pitch slider for strike 1.
Gardner scored in the 4th, scored again in the 6th. And for the 2nd consecutive night, Beltran scored him from first base on a double. Those are the guys you want on first base if you get 2 base hits.
Looked like Vogt got crossed up.
Let's take another look. Yep, he did. Looked like he was looking for a breaking ball, and the ball held its line. Ducked his head.
You know what? He didn't go out there and talk to Triggs at all. Wonder maybe if he just forgot what he put down.
That ever happened to you?
It's happened. I know to other catchers. Let's put it that way.
Yeah,
I know some guys who say, you know what? I just completely forgot what I put down. And Brian McCann talked about that this year. It happened to him. Vogt going through the signals. Being 0-2 to Brett Gardner.
Now I've heard, I'm not going to mention the catcher's name, but he went out to the mound and told the pitcher what he wanted him to throw, and when he got back to home plate he called something else.
It's hard to do.
It's hard to do.
Big swing and a miss with Triggs, who got himself in a little bit of trouble here. Able to work his way out of it. We're going to move on to the bottom half of the inning. The Yankees lead 6-1. Our game summary, which is brought to you by your local Nissan dealer. All you need to look at there is CC Sabathia, 6 innings, 3 hits, 1 run, 1 walk, and he struck out 8.
Yeah, speaking of the 8 strikeouts, Flash.
We'll take a look at CC Sabathia and his night and the 8 strikeouts. Big breaking ball, flipping the outside corner. He had it all going on tonight. The changeup, the location on the fastball, but a lot of these strikeouts are going to be on the breaking ball. Billy Butler can't handle the fastball. And finally, Stephen Vogt gets caught looking at that 3-2 slider.
Sabathia had the 8 strikeouts. He had at least 1 strikeout in every inning except the 2nd inning.
It'll be Kirby Yates. Good numbers, 17th appearance, 1.76 ERA. He will take over for Sabathia after 6 quality innings. Comes in out of the bullpen throwing strikes. On our GMC scoreboard, the Yankees lead 6-1. Saw Kirby Yates on Tuesday's loss at Arizona, a perfect 8th inning. 7-8-9, Jake Smolinski, Matt McBride, Leydendorf.
Yates coming in, pounded that strike zone, jumps ahead, no balls and 2 strikes. Smolinski claimed off waivers by the A's. They got him out of the Texas Rangers organization.
In 0-2, Yates elevates the fastball. Kenny Yates also has that delivery where he kind of slings that ball up there, a little low arm angle.
I think he's got him set up for a hook here.
High fastball to change the eye level, see if he comes back with a slider. And he does, and it just misses off the plate. Lead by 5. Joe Girardi would love to stay away from the big 3 at the back end. Yates trying to get it done here in the 7th. Smolinski just able to foul off that fastball.
You know, I can see Yates going as many as maybe 2 innings. And Joe will have a choice of who's going to finish the game. Not going to use the term close out the game because it's not the wouldn't be a save situation if the Yankees can hold on here.
Yankees trying to win their 3rd game in a row. They lost the first 2 on this road trip to Arizona, salvaged the last game. Took the first game of this series in Oakland last night. Be a 2-2. Driven the other way. Hicks going back. 1 down here in the bottom of the 7th.
Now batting designated hitter.
And 1 down will be the DH, Matt McBride. The double off of CC Sabathia in the 2nd inning to drive in a run. Yankees shifting McBride in the infield to pull. First pitch slider from Yates for strike 1. This ball hit hard to center field, right at Ellsbury. 2 quick outs here in the bottom of the 7th. We're going to send it back to Ryan Ruocco in our studios.
Now batting second baseman, number 25, Tyler Laudendorf.
Well, thank you very much, Ryan. You have to check out Ryan and Meredith Marakovitz on our post-game show coming up after the game. Tune into that to hear the comments from CC Sabathia on how he felt tonight. I'm sure a lot of positives about his outing.
And Kirby Yates, an interesting story, born and still lives in Hawaii. Born in Kauai, and I've been to the town where he was born. I think it's Lihu or Laihu, or I don't know the correct pronunciation, but great vacation spot. Went there a couple of years ago. Just a beautiful place. The only problem with it, it's too far away. Maybe not from the West Coast, but certainly East Coast.
10 or 11 hour flight from the East Coast.
I don't even remember it was that long. You know, you're just going to have to shut it down for a while.
Foul ball in foul territory. Teixeira after it. He's not going to be able to catch up to it. Yates quickly ahead, 1 and 2.
Every time I see a first baseman or a second baseman try and chase down one of those pop-ups in foul territory here, I think of 3rd and long. It just looks like a quarterback just aired it out.
All that foul territory. Never been a batting champion here in Oakland. Big reason why. The 1-2 from Kirby Yates. Leidendorf found the hole. Picks up a 2-out base hit.
That's his first hit since being recalled from the minor leagues. 1 for 3 tonight. And now 1 for 16.
Now batting center fielder for Coco Crisp.
Bring up the center fielder, Coco Crisp. .229, 3 home runs, 13 RBIs. Leidendorf takes his lead off at first. Yates quickly gets ahead with that good slider. A breezy, chilly night here in Oakland. He's up by 5, 6-1 here with 2 outs in the bottom of the 7th. Fans here in Oakland going to stick around. Fireworks after this game.
Yeah, I was just thinking about that. When we came in on the bus today, you could see them setting up the fireworks just outside the stadium. Should be a fun Friday night after the game. Even. Yankees had their fireworks in the 5th inning. Should say the 4th inning.
I have played on some teams where the traveling secretary will tell you there are fireworks going off after this game. Whoever wants to jump in the shower and get out of here quick and beat the crowd, we'll have a bus waiting for you. Not saying that's what the Yankees are going to do tonight. That's what I'm thinking. Let's get out of here and beat the traffic. Coco Crisp serves one the other way. Ellsbury coming on. Not going to be able to come up with it. Leidendorf around second, around third. He will score, so a 2-out double by Coco Crisp. The Yankees lead is now 6-2.
The veteran finds the gap, and Leidendorf will score. Crisp with double number 9 on the season. And we'll get a run batted in. You can see the effort by Ellsbury. What he's trying to do, he couldn't catch it, so he tried to knock it down so it wouldn't go any further into the gap. And he does a pretty good job here of keeping the ball in front of him.
2 down. It's going to be Marcus Semien. Semien 0 for 3 has made an error tonight, struck out a couple of times. Kirby Yates trying to shut it down here in the bottom of the 7th.
Ahead on the count here, and maybe can expand the zone on Semien, who has struck out twice tonight.
Yates in the driver's seat, 0-2. Drew Miller watching in that Yankee bullpen. Yates wants a new set of signs. Crisp off the second, a 1-2 pitch to Semien. It's fouled off.
The Yankees have been helped out by the A's defense more or less tonight. They've made 3 errors and a couple of the plays that are a little shaky. Trying to take advantage of that. Make it 2 wins in a row here over the Oakland A's. But you got to get out of it here in the 7th.
Slider slapped right back up the middle. Gregorius comes up with it, throws over to first. Second base umpire said Didi made the play, but he threw it across the diamond just to make sure. Oakland gets one back. 6-2 Yankees.
Carlos Beltran will come to the plate, leading it off for the Yankees here in the 8th inning. They're up 6-2. Beltran tied his career high with 3 doubles in the game. There have been 2 Yankees in their history have hit 4 doubles in a single ball game. Jim Mason back in 1974 and Johnny Lindell back in 1944. On our Hyundai scoreboard, it is 6-2 the Yankees here in the top of the 8th inning. Andrew Triggs, the 3rd pitcher for the A's. Gray, Dull, and now Triggs. Ball is popped up. Coming over into foul territory is Valencia, and he has it. And Beltran's been retired. Time to check out tomorrow's starting pitchers, brought to you by Verizon. Verizon, join a better network because better matters. Masahiro Tanaka, 1-0 with a 3.51. And Sean Manaea will start for the A's, 1-1, but an inflated ERA. Coverage begins at 3 p.m. right here on Yes. And here's a pitch to Brian McCann. Who had a single his first trip, then walked, and grounded out and fly down. He's 1 for 3. Two balls and no strikes on the Yankee catcher. Season average 261. There are the 5 homers, 17 runs batted in. He'll be followed by Mark Teixeira here in the 8th inning. Good swing, fouled it back just to our left, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Yankees with 6 runs on 10 hits. Another foul ball off the bat of McCann. 2-2. Aroldis Chapman. The Yankees would like to see him keep that jacket on. Not be used in this game tonight. Day game tomorrow here. I didn't think Dellin Betances was going to get in this game anyway.
No,
not tonight.
he's got the hoodie on. He's just taking it all in.
Hit in the air to left field. He's going to drive Davis back a bit. The left fielder is there. He has it. And there's 2 down. This copyrighted telecast is presented by the authority of the New York Yankees and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form. Any accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without the express written consent of the New York Yankees. They've broken the heaters out. And they're all bundled up. Feels more like April. 2 outs for Teixeira. He'll take a pitch for a call strike. And Texas 0 for 4. That has a January look to it. Another breaking ball in for a strike, and it's 0-2.
Mark Teixeira 0 for 4, struggling from the left side. He needs a little confidence knock, something to get him to look forward to tomorrow.
Well, he should be hitting right-handed tomorrow.
Yeah.
Check swing. He goes around and has struck out. So the Yankees go 1-2-3 here in the 8th against Andrew Triggs. On to the bottom half of the inning. Is Kirby Yates still in there for the Yankees? He gets Valencia, Davis, and Butler. Yankees up 6-2. And while we have a second here on our Hyundai scoreboard, there it is, 6-2 Yankees. I want to once again thank all the people who stayed up this late back on the East Coast and wherever you're watching. And we know it's almost 12:30 a.m. So thanks for hanging in there. First pitch on the ground. Tough play. Backhanded nicely by Torreyes. The throw is in time. And that's a nice play to lead it off here in the bottom of the eighth.
Yeah, nice play all the way around the backhand and then the strong throw. Torreyes, who kind of got off to a tough start tonight with an error, rebounding with the big triple. Now the nice defensive play, a little something extra with the throw.
Left fielder, number 2.
Have a look at it. Basically, that's why he's on the team. He could play second, short, third. Spring training game, I thought I saw him in the outfield one day. Nice play all the way around. One down. Here's Chris Davis, who singled in 3 trips against CC Sabathia. First look at Yates, and the first pitch is in there for a strike. CC Sabathia, 6 innings, 1 run, 3 hits, 8 strikeouts, and no walks. Coming off the disabled list for the first time since swing and a miss by Davis. Check that. CC did walk a batter, and that batter scored. That was Billy Butler in the second. And on a DL early in May, and now back and pitching in the rotation, pitching well tonight. Pitch is foul back. And Yates still way ahead on the count. No balls and 2 strikes. You could get the white out here and put a 1 in that walk column. Davis swings and misses, strike 3. Yates puts him away with Yates' first strikeout. Blazing fastball.
Now batting, first baseman.
Yates is throwing here, and the bullpen is busy for the Yankees. Chasen Shreve is up and throwing. So it looks like Yates is going to be in charge of the 8th, and Shreve will get the 9th. Here's Butler. He drew the walk back in the second inning from Sabathia, and has struck out twice since then. And he fouls the first pitch back and out of play.
Kirby Yates coming right at him here in the 8th inning, attacking the strike zone early. We'd love to see for Larry Rothschild, the pitching coach, Joe Girardi, the manager. 4-run lead, challenging some hitters.
Ground ball to third. Torreyes gobbles this one up. A little low, but Teixeira scoops it up, and that's it. A's go 1-2-3 in the 8th. It's on to the 9th. The Yankees up by 4. Those were the thrilling moments of the game, brought to you by Pepsi. Pepsi is giving you a chance to earn your pinstripes. Visit Yankees.com/Pepsi Pinstripes for more details. Top of the ninth. First pitch is way outside from Triggs to Starlin Castro. And that's ball one. Castro's looking for his first hit of the night. He did reach on an error in the 5th inning. There are the totals. Yankees up by 4. Top of the 9th inning. Ball 2, 2-0 to Castro. The A's took an early lead, 1-0 lead, but the Yankees blew them out of the water. Scoring 5 times in the 4th inning on 3 hits and an error. That one hits the corner, and it's a call strike, 2-2. Bouncing ball to short. Semien on a nice hop, throws the first, and there's one down for the Yankees here in the 9th. Castro will give way to Aaron Hicks, who's been on base 3 times tonight.
Number 31, Aaron Hicks.
Grounded out, walked twice, scored, and also had a base hit. So he's 1 for 2. And he'll take a pitch for a call strike. Looked like a little backdoor cutter, maybe a slider from Triggs. Bouncing ball towards the middle. Semien from behind the bag. And it's just in time to get the hustling Aaron Hicks. I don't know what it is, but there's been bang plays when the ball's been hit to Semien tonight. He was beaten on a play by Brett Gardner earlier.
A little smile on the face of Hicks. He gets down the line in great shape, and Semien has a strong throwing arm, but he takes a little time to kind of get a grip and release it. It's Hicks by just a half a step.
So 2 outs, nobody on, and it'll bring up Didi Gregorius, who's had himself a good night. 2 for 4 with a run scored. And he'll take a pitch for a call strike. Fouled at the plate off the foot of Gregorius. And might have to walk that off a bit.
He's shaking his head like he's okay. We'll see where it gets him. Going off of that guard. Remember, he was running the bases a few days ago, got hit.
A ball and 2 strikes. Good swing, but he fouls it straight back. Count holds it 1-2. Here's a number to remember about the Oakland A's. They are just 3-22 when trailing after 7 innings. Even in the tight games, you run into the big time closers. And they get paid to hold leads. Popped up into foul territory, and this one's going to be a nice catch by a fan over the A's dugout. That's why you bring a glove to the game. Trying to give it away, nobody wants it. It's a nice, that's one of the better plays we've seen tonight. Ground ball on the left side. Going to be a tough play for Semien. He has it on the backhand, and it's no chance of getting Didi Gregorius, who now has himself a 3-hit night.
See Semien laughing because he could not get a grip on that. He actually got to it in great shape and was looking to make that strong throw to get Gregorius. Backhand. Now he just can't get a grip on it. Has nothing on the throw.
Kind of lucky he didn't throw it away.
Ronald Torres.
Yeah, the ball got caught in the web. There's the transfer, and it looks like every time he brings the ball out, he like taps his glove before he throws. And you can see him. I didn't have a grip. I've been that way a lot of times myself. First pitch to Torres is ball 1. Torres has had a good night, getting a start at third base. Been on base twice. That's a call strike, and it's 1-1. Had a big 2-run triple in the Yankees' 4th inning. Inside for a ball. By the way, that's the 3rd 3-hit game this year for Didi. His last was on May 14th against the Chicago White Sox. Those multi-hit games. That's what you're looking for. The lifeblood of a 300 hitter. Multi-hit games. Here's another hit for Torres. Gregorius is going to stop at second, and Torres has himself a multi-hit game. So 2 on, 2 outs here in the 9th inning for the Yankees. They're still threatening. Trying to tack on here in the 9th inning.
A lot of smiles all the way around for the Yankees tonight. Torres just stays inside and slaps it the other way. Gives Ellsbury an opportunity here to drive in a run with 2 outs.
Jacoby Ellsbury.
Ellsbury had a base hit his last time up in the 7th. It stretched his hitting streak to 6 consecutive games. He's been on base a couple of times. A walk. Also reached on an error. Ball 1 outside to the Yankee center fielder. Triggs is up 45 pitches he's thrown since coming in from the bullpen. Ball is lined towards the gap in left center field. This is going to be in there for an extra base hit. Gregorius will score. Here comes Torres. He will score. Ellsbury's on his way to third. Here's the throw, and he's in there. A 2-run triple for Jacoby Ellsbury, and the Yankees increase their lead to 8-2.
Well, we saw this from Sonny Gray early in the game. A's pitchers having trouble closing out an inning. Couple of quick outs for Triggs. A base hit from Gregorius, a base hit from Torres, and Ellsbury hammers one the other way. Splits the gap perfectly. A couple of runs are going to score easily. The only question, can Ellsbury get in there with a triple? The play is in front of him the whole time. You don't need a third base coach if you're Ellsbury. Make up your mind right there, going for 3. It'll be a close play, but he's in there.
His 3rd triple of the season. This one drives in 2 runs. Here's Brett Gardner, who has scored a couple of runs himself. First time this year the Yankees have had 2 triples in the same game. Torres had one, and now Ellsbury has one. Triples are exciting. I didn't get many of them.
You? Don't look this way.
Yeah, it's just something told me I better stop at second. Well, let me try. Pitch to Gardner is fouled off. You know, outfielders would run together, and I could keep going.
You just hit him in the seats. You didn't worry about triples.
Well, yeah, you could jog that way, but you know, you get in the corner and the ball gets by the outfielder, and you're hoping when you get to third they don't give an error. Here's the 2-1 pitch to Gardner. And he'll pull this one foul and way back in the seats and right. And a little slider in the inner half, and he was too quick. The Yankees have broken this one open here in the 9th inning by scoring 2 more runs. Triggs has now thrown 50 pitches out of the bullpen. Little chopper. Gonna be a tough play. No, it goes foul. And Gardner will have to come back. Jason Shreve just standing by out in the bullpen. He's ready to come in. And when he does, he'll have at least a 6-run lead to work with. Oh, man. We just got a note passed to us that Flash, you had 3 triples in your career. I didn't have all that many either, just 25.
How can our statistician Bo do that?
Yeah, well,
right? Things have been going so nice for a couple of days.
Probably just tell them they were all in the same game. That's impressive. The Yankees lead 8-2. Yes, it is brought to you by your Tri-State BMW Centers. By Mohegan Sun. Unlimited possibilities await you at Mohegan Sun. Plan your trip at mohegansun.com. And by your Tri-Honda dealers. Hurry to your local Tri-Honda dealer for great deals on the 2016 models. There is the Bay Bridge. San Francisco over to Oakland. We'll be traversing that bridge. We're going to have a pinch hitter coming to the plate as Jason Shreve will come in and try and pick up the last 3 outs of this game. Billy Burns is going to come up and pinch hit for Stephen Vogt.
Well, Jason pitched Tuesday in Arizona, a couple of scoreless innings.
See the opponent's hitting just .203. That's very impressive. 16 strikeouts in 17 innings. And the first pitch to Burns is a little outside for ball 1. Anytime the Yankees come out west, it's a chance for friends and relatives of Jason Shreve to see him work. Ball is popped in the air into foul territory. And this time it's going to take a 1 hop and into the stands. Shreve is from Las Vegas, Nevada. He had some friends and family come see him in Arizona. And I'm sure he's got the same thing working. Here in Oakland. Burns lines one to the gap. He's going to be in there for a base hit. Ellsbury cannot cut it off, and Burns has some speed. on his way to second, now to third, and he's in there with a leadoff triple. So the pinch hitter comes through to get things started for the A's here in the bottom of the 9th inning.
Yeah, Billy Burns has been struggling a little bit lately, but hammers one to right center field, and Ellsbury was not able to cut it off.
Now batting right fielder.
I think he was surprised when it got the grass. It just kind of took off on him.
Malinsky.
You're right, Kenny. Burns can run.
He came up to this pinch hitting appearance. Just 3 for his last 25. Well, he's at third, nobody out. Jake Smolinski to the plate, 0 for 3 on the evening. And he hits one hard. Torreyes has it. He's going to let the runner score to throw to first. Picked out of the dirt by Mark Teixeira. Burns kind of held up, but Torreyes went for the sure out at first base. Gives Smolinski a run batted in.
Yeah, at this point, you're just playing for outs. If you're Torreyes, you see Burns kind of hanging there right in the middle. Torreyes says, I'll give you the run. I'll trade it for the out. A nice play by Mark Teixeira.
It's now an 8-3 ball game as Burns scored. 1 out, nobody on. Here's Matt McBride. So he's 1 for 3. And it pitches in the dirt for a ball. Yankee bullpen is busy. Nick Goody's up. One out, a run in for the A's. Check swing, and that is in there for a call strike. McBride drove in the first A's run in the second inning with a double. Reached out and lifted a changeup in the left field for a base hit and scored Billy Butler. This ball is popped up. Fair territory for Teixeira, and he has it for out number 2. The A's are down to their last out. Well, fans, after the final out, don't miss the WB Mason post game right here on Yes for a complete recap of all the action from here in Oakland. We'll see what Joe Girardi has to say on the manager's report and get interviews from the key players. That's all coming up after the game right here on Yes. So Latendorf, who picked up his first hit since coming back from the minor leagues, now 1 for 16. 1 for 3 on the night. He scored a run last time up. That was in the 7th. And the first pitch is outside for ball 1. So the Yankees are now away from making it 2 in a row here in Oakland, 3 in a row overall, and it'll be the first time this year the Yankees have put 3 wins together. That pitch is in there for a strike. And I think you have to go back to last September. 1st, 2nd, and 3rd is the last time the Yankees have won 3 in a row. Ball 2, 2-1. Yankees are 17-0 when leading after 7 innings. They're trying to make that 18. Hitting to the right field. It's going to chase hits back. It looks like he's going to have a play. He does, and there's your ball game. The right fielder with a side saddle catch, but the A's pick up a run here in the 9th. Yankees put this one in the win column. They win by a score of 8-3. The first time this year they have won 3 games in a row. They're the final totals. 8 runs, 13 hits, 1 error for the Yankees, 3 runs, 6 hits, 3 errors for the Oakland A's. So Joe Girardi, Carlos Beltran celebrating with the rest of the team in the middle of the diamond. Beltran had a big night with 3 doubles and 3 runs batted in. So the Yankees celebrating and come back tomorrow, try and make it 4 in a row. We'll be back with more from the Oakland Coliseum in just a moment.